everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Angela. Angela Palmer, and I'm excited to be here with you today. So thank you for joining me for today's live, and I'm excited to share with you the Sunflower Embossing Folder. So thank you for being here, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. I appreciate you here. So if you don't know who I am or much about me, I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the North Shore in Auckland. I've been a demonstrator for over 13 years, so really enjoying what I do. I know many of you join me each week, and I appreciate that, but perhaps you are joining me for the first time. Hi, Joanne, great to see you here. I'm assuming sound and everything is okay. Let's hope so. So we're having interesting weather at the moment. It was nice and sunny this morning, so much so I can go for a walk, and now guess what? It's raining again. Thankfully not as heavy as it was on Tuesday, but there you go. So how is it wherever you are in New Zealand, perhaps, or even overseas? Let me know. All right, so that's hopefully giving you a bit of a chance to log in. I know sometimes the notification pops up, but it takes a little while, and then people have said, you know, they kind of join a little bit later. All right. So if you've just joined, just to let you know that today I'm going to be sharing some monochromatic cards using the Sunflower Embossing Folder. So the embossing folder it's a great folder. You can see it in the online store. It's a big folder. And there's so many things you can do with this. I decided for today I'm going to focus on monochromatic cards. And then I'm hoping next week to do a part 2, and I'll show you some coloring options with that as well. So a few different ways that you can do monochromatic. So monochromatic is, just basically using one sort of main color as the focus. All right, so let me switch to my desk and let's show you this folder and we'll get started. All right, maybe a little bit hard to see. I don't know if I can maybe put a colored piece behind it. This is the embossing folder. Does that help or not really? Maybe slightly like this. So it is basically, this is half of an A4. That is the size of the embossing folder. It's like 6 inches wide, I think about 8 and 8.5 or something tall. So it is a big embossing folder. So much so you could actually get 2 pieces in at once, which is very cool. So it is a 3D embossing folder. So when you use it, you will need to use the specialty plate. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So initially when I started, I'm so used to kind of putting in a piece like that, away I went. But what you can actually do is you can have, depending on the size, but 2 pieces like that and emboss them at the same time. So let me bring up my machine and I'll show you, and then we'll make some cards. So I've done some of the embossing ahead of time just to save time, but I'll just show you how it works. Right, here's my machine. So I have got my base plate, which is a number 1. I'm going to put this down next. Now remember, it is the whole length, so make sure your plate number 4 covers the whole thing, because at one point I had it slightly like that and it didn't emboss the back part. So make sure you cover the whole thing, and we'll put that through. And I'm going to show you some different color options just with one color. All right, so putting that through. Sorry, it shakes my table a little bit. And we're going to do a little bit to do with the embossed and debossed side. So has anybody got this embossing folder? I know that Joanne has. Joe, you've made some wonderful cards with it. So that's cool. All right, now maybe with the cardstock, I don't know, you may or may not see the pattern a little bit better. So I've got 2 cards ready to go. Now I might just bring my camera down a little bit closer so you can kind of see what I'm doing a bit more. All right. And it looks, angles are not quite right here. There we go. I like things to be kind of balanced. I don't know, with wonky lines in the background, does my head in. Okay. All right, so we're going to start off obviously with the white, and I'm going to add a bit of color to it. So I'm going to show you the embossed side, and then we'll switch to the debossed, which is what I'm doing more of. So I'm actually going to put a scrap piece of paper down. So I should show you with the folder, where the Stampin' Up is the top side. So when you put it through, it'll be like this. This is the embossed side, so the pattern that we're using is more raised. So this is an example of an embossed card, and all I've done is I've got my ink pad and I have gently swiped over it, and all the embossed parts get the ink. Now you can go kind of as dark or light as you like. Now obviously that's leaves and flowers all, you know, and that's just the one color. So that is the embossed side. And then what I have done is I have put it on another piece of white. And then I've put it on my this is fresh freesia card base, but I've put the ribbon around first. So that is the embossed, but now I want to show you the debossed as a comparison. So I'm actually going to go for a black and white card. So that's our embossed. We're going to flip it over, and I'm going to use my Memento ink, and you'll see the difference. So I'm going to swipe again, and the effect is different. Whoops. Try and keep it flat so it's kind of not, it's going on the opposite bits will be raised this time. So just trying to kind of go in those bits there. Won't be perfect, but I am getting a bit on the kind of debossed bits, but that's okay. All right, so can you see how this is the debossed side? So now these bits in here that were lower down are raised, so they are the ones that get the ink. So it's quite, obviously they're different sides, but that's kind of how it looks. So let me show you one that's finished, and then I'll put it together like so. So how I've made this card is this piece here is 14 by 9.7 if you're in centimeters. I'll have to work out the inches and share later maybe. And then just a little bit bigger, I've gone for a white piece, so it just frames it. Now this is not an original idea. This is something I saw online, and I did make a note of who created it, and I've probably buried it now. It was created by Jan Faring, I think. Hopefully I've said her name right. So that's the black and white one. I've changed it a bit, like my sentiment is different to hers and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two layers together and then put my ribbon around afterwards. You could put your ribbon around just the one layer. But okay, while that dries for a minute, I'm going to show you my sentiment now. Where is my scrap pieces of white? Is that one? Yes. Now the punch I'm using is this one, and I can't remember what it's called, so I'll share it in the description. But you'll see that this is quite long and I haven't used as much. So I'm going to get my black ink and my happy birthday stamp. Or actually I can't find that. We'll use a thanks one for now because that's handy. And ink it up in black. Oops, that's not looking too good. Oh yeah, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to do it kind of in the middle like that, or I might just turn it over and try again. I haven't got my spongy mat underneath, so let's just try that and see if that's better. It's probably slightly better. Okay, so what I'm going to do to punch it out is I am going to punch it close to one side, like so. Then I'm going to poke it through again and cut the other side. So now I can make it a little bit smaller. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but there's also a little bit of edging around this. So what I'm going to do is get a scrap piece of black. Now, you can either punch out the whole thing and cut it, or I only need little bits. So I'm actually just going to cut a little bit off each end like so. And getting my glue, where is that here? Put a bit of glue down. Sorry, it's messy with that other bit behind. And I'm just going to adhere it like that. Try and line it up top and bottom so it's not angled. I'm worried about my ink on my hands. I shouldn't have done black first because that's likely to go everywhere. And because I've got black down, and then the other side. Okay, and just keep it level. I'm going to put that aside and let that dry too. Okay, let's move this bit out the way for now. I needed to push it down a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to get my ribbon and put that around. So I'm just using some white ribbon, and I have got, this is the 1/2 inch one, I believe. It's called, I don't know, just white ribbon. And I'm going to go across like this. Where are my scissors? Buried. They're not my ribbon scissors, but these ones are. I have a pair which have got this on it, so I know they're for my ribbon, and that way they stay nice and sharp. I am going to angle it because then it's ready for the next bit. Then I'm going to get my tape and tape it on the back. All right, so who else is joining me today? Just got a couple of you live, but then maybe more will watch the recording. I know it's kind of a tricky time to watch, middle of the day, but many of you join later. So if you are watching later, please comment and let me know. All right, where you are from. Okay, so like that. Then I'm going to cut another piece, long enough to tie, but not too much to waste. And I'm just going to thread that through and tie a knot. Now, basically, I've made several cards in the same kind of layout with the white behind and then my ribbon going across. Obviously, you can do other things, but I have tended to do the same layout and then with different color combinations and techniques so you can kind of see. All right, then when I go to put this on, I find if I put it on the ribbon, it tends to move a little bit. So I'm going to use some mini dimensionals and just do top and bottom. That way it's either side of the ribbon and then it kind of stays in place. If you kind of stick it directly to the ribbon, then it might move a bit. So mini dimensionals, top and bottom, and then we'll put it on our card base and add some embellishments. Where is my Take Your Pick tool? Here it is. I like to use this. Whoops, I don't want to take the whole thing off, just the top layer. And oh, look, I've got ink on it. I'm going to stick it down for now. I'll do another one later, but you get the idea. And then I'm going to adhere that onto my black. And looking for my bone folder, crease it so it's a nice crisp edge, and then put that down. So yes, black was not the best color to start with. That's gonna, why is that not even? Something is, oh look, I haven't cut it in half. Look at that. I've cut it at probably, I mean, I've folded it 10, not 10 and a half. So that's not good. So let's pretend I'll just crease it for now. I won't stick it. Oh, look, another black piece. Yay. We will score it at 10 and a half, which is half. Probably used to cutting at 10. That's how we got it wrong. Okay, now they match in half. It's all right. We can still use that other piece for scraps and other things. Now we've got an even border. Perfect. Okay, so I will do that later on. Then I've added some black matte dots which are somewhere, but I'm not going to add them now because I'm going to replace that later. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. So that's kind of the layout of what I've done. So let's compare the embossed to debossed look. Okay. So can you see how the ink is on the petals and the middle piece like this? On this one, embossed, but on debossed, you've got the flowers are more white, and then the background is black. So it's, you know, a contrasting look. What do you like? Do you like the embossed or debossed kind of look? For me, I quite like the debossed, and we're going to do a few more like that. So here is the card completed. Now you'll see on this one, I have just punched it out. I haven't put any edging around it. So that's fine too. You can keep it nice and simple, but I did make it shorter for that punch. All right, so that is using a white card base and then adding color to my white. All right, emboss, deboss. A couple of other variations I've got. So let's stick with that color, but I'm going to add some ink on a colored piece instead. So I did one in Fresh Freesia, and I used the ink Fresh Freesia, but it was quite dark. That's how it went. So I haven't tried this, but I've got my bubble bath ink, she says, somewhere buried. Bubble bath ink, here it is, which is a slightly lighter pink, and I'll see if that, sorry, my computer page has gone funny. They're still there, good. It's a lighter pink, and we'll see how that looks. Now that's kind of black. I might just go over to this side, and we're going for a lighter pink, so it's a little bit more subtle, except that's the embossed side, and I actually want the debossed side. So let's just try this so you can see the difference. I've got a line there now, which is not good. So that's, I want the debossed side. And that was actually the embossed side, was it? It was. Let's try this on the debossed side and compare it in a lighter color, see how it looks. So you can get embossed, debossed, all sorts of looks. Just very lightly kind of going over, but it's a slightly different look with a different color. So this is Bubble Bath as opposed to that is Fresh Freesia. So that's embossed, debossed, and I'll do this side too so you can just see. Just, you know. Oops, not too much. Okay. Can you see the different colours in the pinks? So this is Fresh Freesia cardstock with Fresh Freesia ink. This is Fresh Freesia cardstock with Bubble Bath ink, so a slightly lighter. And then that's what it looks like if it is on the debossed side. Confused? Joanne says she likes the debossed side. I do too. Okay. So again, I would do the same thing as I did before. I would get my white piece. I mean, you don't have to. You could put it on a white base, which I'm not sure if I do have one handy, I think. Let me have a look. You could do it just on a white base. No, I don't have one. Let's just, and yeah. But I like to have a white border and then on a coloured piece. Add my ribbon, of course, and then that. So that is coloured cardstock with coloured ink. It could be the same or a slightly different toning. So that's quite cool. Now there's two other effects that I quite like. Still monochromatic. This one here. This is using Darling Duckling, which is one of the in colours. And I have used the two-tone cardstock, which I have featured in the past. So two-tone cardstock is, where's the piece I embossed earlier to use? Where's it gone? I did definitely hit it. Maybe I won't be doing, oh, stuck underneath. No, I did two pieces. Here it is. No, that's the card base. Okay, so that is on the dark side. So two-tone has got a light and a dark side. So that's the light, that's the dark. Now on this piece, I actually did it upside down and did it on the light. So basically I put it through and then I sand it. So I'm just seeing if I've got my piece ready. I thought I brought them all through. If not, we can quickly cut one. And I can't see it. And then put that through too. No, it's disappeared. Okay, so two-tone cardstock. Is this two-toned? No, that's normal card. Let me find some. Okay, this is two-tone cardstock. So I will show you. So we're going to make it 9.7 by 14 to have that little border around it. Now I want to make sure that, if I want the dark side, which I just feel is a little bit more striking, we will put it with the dark side facing up. I'm only going to put one in. I know I did it because I had them two side by side and I thought, oh, that will save time later, but that's okay. And we'll put this through now, and then I'll show you the sanding. So if you haven't seen two-tone cardstock, I did a live on it a couple of weeks ago, and you can check that out of different ways of using two-tone cardstock, which is, I'm having lots of fun with it. There's so many possibilities. I've got blog posts on it too, if you want to check those out. Okay. So hopefully up the right way. So you do need to be careful with sanding it. All right. Here is my two-tone cardstock with the dark side. So in this case, I am going to do the embossed side, and I'm lightly going to sand over it. And can you see the white coming through? You want to be careful. I did actually slightly rip on this one, but it's covered anyway. So just gently go. Two-tone cardstock is a white core, and that's why the white's coming through. I do want a little bit more in the middle, so I'm just going to go over the center bits like so. Isn't that cool? And that's just a subtle difference with the white coming through. And then you can go on to make it onto your card, except that's the inside piece. Where is, we need a bigger piece like this. Then put your ribbon on and your sentiment, and you can make it like that. So let me adhere this together. Now for this one, I haven't put any edging around the sentiment. I've just cut it on each side so that it's a bit smaller. Okay, so we want ribbon on there. I'm getting to the end, so I need to be a little bit, I'm probably only going to get one more card left. So I might not do it on this one because I want to show you the very last card. All right, so then I would put that, once I've got my ribbon on, put it onto my Darling Duckling card base, stamp my sentiment, and I've added some in color pearls on that one for that finished look. Okay. For my last card, I am going for the color of Secret Sea, and I'm going to use something different. This time, you're thinking, how have I done that? So for the Secret Sea card, I'm going to use white ink. So I'm going to use this craft ink, and I'm going to put down a piece of scrap paper, except I need my embossed piece for that too. Do I have an embossed one? No. So I'm just making sure that that is small enough. I should have done it at the same time as my other one. So let's quickly do that too. Where's my embossing folder gone? I just had it. Where did I put it? Is it with the machine? Yes, it is. All right. So let's put that like so. And I'm going to put it in my sheen. I'll just keep it here and show you it. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Now that we're organized. So let's start that again. So for the Secret C card, I have embossed the pattern in the Secret C cardstock, which is in color. Put down a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to use the white craft ink. And I'm going to do the same thing. And I am going, this actually, what have I done? It on the embossed side, I believe. And I'm going to wipe it across like so. And it'll pick it up. And the pattern really shows because it's just a subtle white. You can go as lightly or as heavily as you want to. But I think this is quite stunning. I think this is one of my favorites. How's that? Isn't that cool? So that is using the white ink, and then you can decorate it as you wish. So that will be a little bit wetter, so let it dry. And then we're going to put it, no, that's the same size. I need one that is slightly bigger. I've put them inside here so I know which ones are slightly bigger. So we're going to adhere that like that. And I will show you another tip for the punch. There we go. So let's get our ribbon. We're going to go across the front. Oops, that's not very good. Like so. And tape. Where's my tape? Here it is. You'll see with this one, I've used a couple of butterflies as something contrasting. So you could use a more neutral kind of embellishment that blends in, or something that stands out. So we're going to adhere this ribbon across the front and adhere it to the back. Then with a smaller piece, I'm going to tie a knot. Let's be generous so it's easier to tie. I've lost the end. Where is it? There it is. I think maybe harder to do when on camera. There we go. And adhere that to my card base. Crease it, the edge there. All right. And then we just need to add our sentiment. Okay. Whoops, bumping my camera slightly. Okay, so for the sentiment, I am going to use a Secret C and the birthday wishes stamp. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment, punch it out as I usually would. And we're using the full punch. Okay, good thing about punches, if it's wonky, we can just line it up, make it nice and straight. Put it in the center. I let it grip and then punch it out. That way it doesn't jump. Then what we need to do is we need to cut 2 more of those, but in Secret C. So I'm going to cut 1, 2. We are going to have one that will go up on the top and then one that will go on the ends, but we just need to trim it slightly. So what I'm going to do is cut it in half, and I'm going to cut angles like this and adhere that top and bottom like so. Glue. Where's my glue? Here it is. So this just frames it all the way around. You could just do the ends, but we're going to do all 4 sides. All right, so move it so it's centered. So just decide the width. Whoops, that's gone a bit wonky. Let's straighten it up. Like so. Then with our other one, we are going to cut it in half down the middle. Doesn't have to be exact, but thereabouts. And then you're going to put it like that. Now I'm just thinking, okay, I'm going to change it up. Let's start again. I realized I did a different order, so we're going to do it differently. Okay, do another one. Let's do our ends first. All right. So we have our stamp sentiment, and I'm going to put one at each end. Like so. 1, 2. Okay, you could leave it like that and it could go on your card like this. The good thing about this is you can slide it over. That would be perfectly fine. Or we can do top and bottom. So I'll show you what happens if you just cut it in half. You end up with kind of extra pointy bits. So how am I going to do this? Okay, I'm actually going to trim. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm being too fussy. What do you reckon? Can you see those pointy bits there? Those bits there is what I don't quite like. So I'm actually going to, I should have trimmed them first. Going to trim them there, there, here. Maybe I need to do another video on this part. And that there. Not quite enough. So I'll show you what I probably should have done is basically I want to cut in half, but I only want the end bits like that. That's what I should have done. Oh, that one's not quite the full end. Oh dear. Struggling a little bit here. Okay. What's getting in the way is that point there. So basically we're doing it like that. So we are going to sort of put those each end. And then afterwards, we'll put that like so. And then it gives it the curvy bit. So if you cut it like that, that works. All right. Sorry, folks, making it slightly challenging. But it works in the end. 1, 2. All right, isn't that cool? I'm going to let that dry for a moment. I don't want it to move while we're fiddling around. Whoops, let it stick. So try and get it even. And then we're going to put that on. Then I've added some butterflies, but you can add whatever embellishments that you like. And then we are done. And then what I'll go through is quickly recap all the different cards that we made and the different ways, and you can tell me which ones you quite like. Now this is longer, so I'm going to put 3 mini dimensionals along the top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, I'm putting them either side of the ribbon, and then I won't kind of move around. So 1, 2, 3. 1. Oops, that one came off. We just want the top layer off. 2, 3. Perfect. Do you like, oops, I'm way up high. Come down a bit. Do you like the butterflies? I think they're quite cool. You could go with in color embellishments as well, but let's go with the butterflies. So I'm going to put one up here on my spacing. See how there's a bit of a gap there? It's different on this card depending on how I've embossed it. So maybe we'll put one there, a little one up here, and a big one on this side. So 3s are good. Does that work? All right. So this is Secret C with white ink. Just a subtle white over the top. Okay, so let's recap on what we have done. So we started off with the messy first. So we inked black ink onto a white embossed piece, and we did that on the debossed side. I also showed you on colored cardstock. So this was on white cardstock with a color, and that's on the emboss side. And then you can also do ink on colored cardstock. That's on emboss side. Then we had a go at doing the debossed side. So we didn't finish that card, but that's what it looks like. We also had a try of two-tone cardstock. And so I used, dropping something there. The two tones that was on the dark side of the Darling Duckling. And then just now we made our, this is on the emboss side with the white. So we've got some debossed. So those are the debossed ones. And then some are the embossed, either with ink, with sanding, or with the white ink. All right, I've been busy and not really looking at comments, sorry. So thank you for watching and checking it out. I'll have a look at the comments now and see how we're going. Who has tried this or keen to try it? Can you put sand on the embossed side so this background is scratch white? Let's try that. So that is the debossed side. I don't think I think it's too solid, and it's not really, it's not going to sand. It's only kind of doing the edges, so not the solid bits. So this is what it would look like if we sanded the debossed side. So you can do it. How's that? You're not going to get the bits in the middle because they're down. So that's the debossed side. That's the embossed side. Probably, yeah, you're not going to get this middle bit showing so much. So there's all sorts of possibilities. Right, what else have we got? Any other questions? Very good. So lots of ways. So it's one embossing folder. Like I said, it's a nice big embossing folder. Basically, you know, nearly the whole size of your plates. You can get 2 cards out in one time of embossing, and you can create it with ink, with sanding, and you can use the debossed side, the embossed side, use keep it monochromatic with black, or add color to white or color to color, and then you can add the white to the Secret C. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing these cards today. And if you are keen on the embossing, sorry, crash bang again. If you are keen on the embossing folder, it is popular and it is on low inventory. So if you are keen to get this embossing folder, I would order it sooner rather than later. They'll get more, but at the moment it is being popular and there's not many left. So order soon. If you'd like to place an online order, you can order online through the online store, or contact me and I can help you with your order. So thanks for joining me today. Lots of different ways of using monochromatic colors with these cards. You can also color them. So I'm hoping next week I'll be able to do a few more variations with this folder and showing you how to color it as well. All right, so thank you so much for being here. If you're not on my mailing list, I encourage you to sign up. You'll get to see lots of inspiration, ideas, and know what's happening. And also, if you are on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. You'll get notified of upcoming lives and all that kind of thing as well. All right, so I did forget to mention, so with this one here with the white ink, that was inspired by Maureen Roots, I think her name is, from Crafty Roots. So just acknowledging that one as well. All right, so thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again. All right, if you've got any questions, reach out to me. See you again soon. Bye.